The issue is now clear. It is between light and darkness, and everyone must choose his side. G.K. Chesterton. Alright, good evening. Just about made it. Just past midnight. Wanted to share this one. It's not finished. It's kind of the beginning part to my Open Your Eyes series that I've been kind of working on. Not quite, because there's just a lot that changes. So what I'm going to do is do my usual spiel. Quote of the day: the issue is now clear. It is between light and darkness, and everyone must choose his side, by G.K. Chesterton. And I want to do more looking into G.K. Chesterton, and I will one day. You can always join me on Zoom. All of the information to join me, to chat with me, after I do my presentation, of course. You'll probably first go into the the waiting room. But I will see you in there by checking in, and I'm not gonna play the chime. That's right. Good. All right. So that's set up. All right. Donations. If you wish to donate, everything that I do is for free. I mean, if it doesn't cost anything, yeah. Things do cost things like the Zoom, but still, whatever. If you want to donate, you can donate via cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, or Vertcoin. So far, $0 in cryptocurrency donated to me over 16 months. And you can always check on Blockchain Explorers. You can see my Bitcoin I've transferred out of my GoFundMe, yeah, to is it GoFundMe? Yeah, it was, to Susie Dawson. When she needed it, and there's video of it if you want to watch. And Vertcoin, there's been no transactions at all. If you want to donate via Super Chat, you may, and Google takes a big chunk out of it. But if I'm not on and you want to donate, you can do so via paypal.me. And on the first video of the month, I disclose how much I've gotten from donations for that month, and also all the donations in total. And paypal.me was started on September 22nd, 2019. And that's it for that. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to play back something that I just made up in the last 2 or 3 hours. And go ahead and have a watch, and we'll talk about it in a bit. So here we go. What I present to you is nothing but a concept. Like in Plato's allegory of the cave. Imagine people never having seen and felt the sun before. If you were to explain what the sun is, what it looks like, and how it feels, they can only get a concept of it. It's not until they witness the sun will they understand. So please keep this in mind. Let's say everything started in total darkness. What is the darkness? Is it all-encompassing, or the absence of everything? Is it the natural beginning state, or is it the opposite, an ending state? If this is the beginning, then why did we start at the end? We look as far as we can, and there's no end to the darkness. It's until we look within do we see something that is not the darkness. We see a point of light. It is very bright. We see that the darkness cannot cover it. Instead, we see that the light reveals what is hidden within the darkness. We want to see more that's hidden in the darkness, but in order to do so, we must increase the brightness of the light. However, when we do, we also notice a darkness within the light. But it is not the darkness. It is but a shadow. While light reveals what is hidden within darkness, a shadow hides what is hidden within the light. When we explore the shadow, it reveals that nothing is hidden. Now that we understand what a shadow is, we understand that darkness is not a shadow of another light. Okay, so that was it. Start my chat up from previously. Hi, Max. So, so the concept is pretty simple. Okay, let's just start at one end, whether it's total dark, just total light, and what the effects that they have. But within each of them, if you look inside, look closer to it, you'll just see the opposite. But it's not quite the same opposite. So when with the depiction with the yin yang, I don't quite agree with it. That's why when you see the illustration that I have, it's not quite the same. It's I made the inside darkness within the white a little bit more gray, because it's not exact. The shadow isn't the darkness. The darkness is there that hides hides from the light. I mean, it keeps things hidden from the light, and the light reveals it. And the thing is, there's a darkness within the light, which is the shadow, which hides things within the light. And it's not quite the darkness. You look inside the shadow, and there's really nothing there. So it only reveals what's hidden within the light. You get rid of that shadow, it's just pure light, and that's basically what this is. This is just confronting the shadow in some ways, and exploring the shadow. At least from my experiences with ayahuasca, this is the way that it's kind of starting to be more revealed to me. And knowing that the shadow isn't the darkness, we know that the darkness that's vast and abundant isn't just a shadow of another light. There we go. We've ended the what is that called? The infinite whatever. So it's not like you look inside a mirror, and within that mirror, and you just keep going, and it's just a duplication, and it just ever, same thing is just reflecting off each other. No, this is totally different. It's like we've reached the bottom of the well in some ways. And we know that we just end up knowing more than we did before. It's weird. It feels like the more we explore inside, the more we can explore the outside. The more we explore the outside, the more we can explore the inside. So it's just kind of going back and forth. It's like the more we want to know about our past, we just got to keep running into what we can with this time of future past type of thing. So the more we know about our past, the more we know about our future, vice versa. But the thing is, how much of it is reliant on each other. So it's going to be at some point, we're going to find that at the end of one thing isn't the exact same as another thing. We're going to find the differences that are just abound within it. And I think that's kind of exciting, because I don't think people liked exploring their shadow. I think people are scared to confront it. I think they don't even want to acknowledge that it's there. The shadows are always there, but there's really nothing to it. There's no substance, right? It's just a shadow. It's just what happens when you try to block out a light. That's the only thing you can do. You can't stop a light. You can just block it and create shadows and just hide things from the light. But right, you remove all those things and there's nothing that blocks it. The light just shines, and you just get to reveal more of it from that this darkness can't stop. So there, however, makes me wonder, because there are opposites of it, which I haven't quite gotten into. And I don't know if it just comes to me or if I think about it and how it relates. That's just, I guess I'll wait. It's just kind of a waiting game. But that would mean that there are those who have they have a darkness, instead they're hiding their light. So it's that, it's very much similar to the idea of mystery schools, archons, and all that stuff that you hear about different types of religions and stories, mythologies, and all of that stuff. But if that's what they're first facing, as just blocking that light and just keeping it in darkness, not they don't have to explore the shadow, but then they're limited in some ways. That's, I think, kind of the entire, if you piece it in together with maybe Gnosticism and things within Taoism and things like that, that just it resonates kind of close, and it's eerie. It's eerie. It is. I will say that. So that was just the beginning, and just, my goodness, 2 hours just to put that up, and that was, I don't know, not even a minute or two. Cloud Alley, yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Shadow only has power that you give it. I mean, it's just illusions. That's all they are, shadows. And you can feed into the illusions. You can feed into the shadow, or you can feed into the light. The light may make the shadow brighter. That's the problem. If you don't confront the shadow, however much you feed the light, it's just going to cast a darker shadow, and you're just you're gonna have to confront the shadow eventually. So no matter what, if you want to grow out, I guess, if that's a term, you have to confront your shadows. You need to understand some of the things that's holding you back, and things you can hold yourself back. It doesn't have to be your shadow holding you back. You can just stay grounded, put your nose to the ground, however way you want to put it. I find a lot of these sayings that have been around for a long time, they have different meanings. And like, as far as flat earth things go, I always thought it funny that when when things start going south, it's like, when things start going south, it's usually termed as things are going bad. Or if you may look online, it's saying going south means, right, you're not going north, so you're lost. But in a globe Earth, if you're going south, you're just going the opposite direction of north. So you know where you're going. You're going south. And as long as you keep going south, you'll head back up north. So, how could that be a bad saying? You know what direction you're going. However, in a flat earth, the thought is that there's only one center point, which is north, and everything else, the outside of it, is south. So south could be any direction. Makes more sense. If things are going south, you're losing your way, you're losing your direction. And because south can be in any direction that's not north. So it makes more sense that way. So there's a lot of things that always kind of tickle me funny in a way, where it's a weird saying, but if you interpret it in a way of not how you were raised and indoctrinated and things like that, but a secondary or third even way of looking at things, and you're just like, that's just so it's awesome, it's hilarious, but it's just weird how it's like, it was so simple you couldn't think of it. But that's because we don't think in simple terms. We're not taught to think in simple terms. We're taught to think in complications, and within those complications, we're going to say, hey, it's too complicated. And then there are going to be people that will just understand how complicated it is, because they're probably the ones that were told, hey, this is made to be complicated. And so this is how you would explain it to people, when all it takes is just a simple explanation, and it just takes all that complication away. It's like, no. Let's just think of it this way. No. You got to add the 1, minus the 2, add x, and times whatever, right? Get away from the complication. It's the most simple route. All you have to do is just think of it that way, and I think you'll be right. You'll be on at least a more direct path, if not necessarily a path. Hopefully, who knows? So that's it. That 1-2 minute compilation, voiceover, images, visuals, things like that. That's more I want to provide. Music in the background stuff, I do want to do that eventually, but it's not, I don't want to elicit emotions too much within the presentation. I guess it's it's more to elicit understanding. Sometimes I may have to reiterate certain things, not like the way I do now. This is a little bit different. This is free form, right? What I do when I'm making that presentation is I think of it in a way to write it down. I write it down, then I record it, then I match it up with visuals, which might make people understand it a little bit easier because, again, the limitations of just speech. The thing is, with the music stuff, it may incur feelings, which isn't a bad thing. Feelings are helpful, but at this point, you just need to understand the simple stuff first, and then the feelings that are involved within it is going to be something a little bit more complex, but we can make it simple. We can make it simple. I just don't know how yet. We can though. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching that, and good night, and I'll see you another day, I guess.